Phillips in Tulsa is very unique, even though there are a couple of other organizations in Tulsa who also are kind of aligned with the same mission of producing wonderful pastors and ministers. Phillips is so unique that they accept us where we are. They don't look at us as a challenge to proselytize or to convert. They accept us as their brother, their sister, as their friend, their colleague. They love us for who we are.
Phillips Theological Seminary for over a decade now has been the reasonable voice of faithful Christians in Oklahoma to be able to say, Jesus would want us to treat neighbors the way we want to be treated.
The Interfaith Pride service, which kicks off our Pride celebrations each year, is held at Phillips Theological Seminary. And many individuals who identify as LGBTQ have had a negative experience with their faith communities. And so being able to come into a sanctuary and to listen to messages that are inspiring based on religious texts, who aim to build up those individuals who have felt rejected is powerful. I participated in those events for a few years, and every year I am touched immensely and filled as I listen and as I observe and see the community come together and remember those who we've lost, reflect on the challenges that we faced and the challenges ahead of us, but also as we continue to build a community that supports each other and that is able to move forward, ready to face the challenges ahead.
When we had the San Bernardino shootings, there was a lot of high tension with the Muslim community, and a lot of anti-Muslim rhetoric has been coming out. And so Phillips, with the president on down to staff members and students, all came to the Islamic Society of Tulsa and stood outside during a Friday service with signs saying that they loved us, that they wanted to stand for peace, and that was felt through and through in the community.
I cannot imagine a community without Phillips. They have stood alongside community leaders in opposition of intolerance and hate.
If we did not have Phillips here, it would be a sad day in Tulsa, because Phillips has produced some amazing ministers and pastors who work with us day in and day out in the interfaith work that we do here. They build those bridges, right? And it's all taught. It all started right here at Phillips. That's their foundation, right? Phillips has classes of understanding other faiths. What other seminary has that? Invites imams and rabbis in to teach. I don't know of any other seminary here that does that.
If there were to ever be a day that Phillips Theological Seminary was not present in Tulsa and Oklahoma doing their work, which spreads out all around the world, if there was ever a day that they did not exist, the game would be over. Any victories we had won for equality would probably be rolled back, because it has been people of faith and clergy and clerical voices that have been the ones who've brought us civil discourse and have weighed in repeatedly on our lawsuits and our attacks by our legislators. Whenever a reverend speaks, whenever a voice of religious authority speaks on our behalf, it seems to silence the madness and the cruelty and the hatefulness of other voices who claim to be speaking for God. If God's voice was ever silenced in Tulsa, we would know it was because Phillips Theological Seminary was no longer here.
There are some Christians who claim they read the Bible this way, that the Bible says it, I believe it, that settles it. I think that's nonsense, because what it eliminates is interpretation. We interpret. In fact, we have a responsibility to interpret. we have a responsibility then for how we take that interpretation into our personal lives and our public lives and how we treat others. And it makes a great difference who you're reading the Bible with, how you're interpreting, and how you're taking that faith into the public realm. We have to be responsible for how we interpret.